Good afternoon, Professor Abdullah Atran. We cannot do the clone card thingy because like one of the Fockraf high school student just broke my hardware and we cannot do it. But for our final project, we're gonna talk about one of the also interesting topic, which is called one-time password, or what we call OTP. And we were conducted by three of our members in our team, me, Raksa, and also T in our team. So I would like to start by talking four main areas in our table of content. We would like to start with talking about a problem. We will briefly observe the current user in terms of their online security. Second, we will show the solution using one-time password for the users. And third, we will talk about type of OTP, the procedure of how OTP are being implemented, as well as how many type of OTP are there in what will be used. And then lastly, we will show demonstration of prototype hosting on server by that side. So first of all, I would like to make an introduction of about this topic. I would like to say that cybersecurity has been playing the most important roles in serving the safety within our online customer. Therefore, not only me, but all of the cybersecurity technician and many cybersecurity students as well, it is our responsibility to provide the reliability for all of our customer to have a safety and security with their online employment as well as any transaction. I would like to start by talking about problem. The cyber crime in new digital era. So the problem is that when there's like a small incident such as brute force, like what we have learned in class, dictionary attack, keylogger, phishing, man in the middle of attack, or any accident loss, like for instance, like an accident show my password to my friends, or I accidentally lost my passcode and something like that. The attacker or people who actually get the password can actually use the account and it doesn't even alert to the account owner, like in the slide. And second is it really vulnerable on any attack when there's only a password and the email, then it's really vulnerable for any attack without OTP. It's also really insecure for both users that are using the platform and also the platform that they are providing is not secure at all between both parties. That's why this problem lead to impact on two main type of people. First of all, I'm going to talk about individual customer and also on an organization. In terms of individual customer, we have found that according to our research in references, you can see at the bottom, there are 14 of consumer who has cyber incident. For example, is password loss, and there's also a wrong hand users that actually use the account and privacy loss. This is what happened when there is an OTP happen. In terms of organization, there is disruption of service and the operation can be stopped because of the hacker can actually attack on the system and inject SQL inject or any different of attack that can actually destroy the whole system. Also, another problem for the organization is financial repercussion. For instance, like for bank or many administration, for instance, like our school can actually lose a lot of finance if it doesn't have any verification within our school. As a result, they can lose a lot of money that hacker can actually gain a lot of profit and take a lot of benefit from there. These two main problem in the organization lead to the last problem, which is reputational damage. So solution, we would like to introduction of using OTP for all of our platform. I would like to start talking about OTP. So one-time password. The main point of one-time password or OTP is basically provide a second password verification. It generates the second passcode in order to provide like specific user for more extra layer of protection, and it can only use once for only less than 10 minutes or 5 minutes based on the platform that you're providing. Because additionally, because we want to have the independent factor, not only the knowledge such as PIN or password, but we want to have the independent factor from the customer, like things like in token from phone from the user, it belongs to the customer only. So that's why we call it independent factor. And also thing that identify user uniqueness, like a biometric or something like that. This is called another extra layer of protection. So the benefit of all of it has three main things I want to talk about. So it's resistance to replay attack. Since the attacker doesn't have the code to access, it doesn't have any the attacker don't have any valid access furthermore, and OTP can actually stop that and alert the user that okay, there's someone that is trying to attack and show the passcode even you didn't even log into any platform. And second, it is really difficult to guess the passcode, like a numeric with more than 6 digits in less than 10 minutes trying to guess it, take a really long time. And during those time, it can actually alert the user that there is something happen and there's some attacker that are trying to attack your device. Lastly, of the benefit of OTP is the easy adoption for security. It is really easy to integrate into main function for authentication that is usually contributed for widely accessible for all of our customer, and it is really strong and easy for use. So I would like to pass this to my fellows that start to talk about type of OTP. What are the three main type of OTP and implementation using, as well as code demonstration of our prototype. So please, Rasa.
Thank you, Sothyro, for a very detailed presentation. So I would like to continue the presentations by walk through all of you through the three types of OTP. So as you know, like OTP, like it's provide more security to the system. So we can achieve OTP by many different ways. Today we will talk about three main types that you can actually implement OTP in the system. So first of all, we can implement OTP by using a grid card. So a grid card is just a normal card, but it generates, it has number on it, and like it is like a grid system. So it it has a number on it. So every time that you use the grid card to, using for OTP, it will generate a new number on the card. So as a user, you will like know how to generate the code from the grid card. And these methods actually not only by the user. So when somebody they log into the system, they use the card and then they get a login code from the card, and then they use it to authenticate. So it is a very simple method, such as a transaction number list, and grid card can approve a set of one-time password. The only disadvantage of this grid card is that it is low investment in cost, but they are slow and difficult to maintain. Especially people can easily replicate and share the card. So like somebody can just come and then watch me read the code from the grid card. So they can copy the card and then they use the same method as mine, and then they can log in. So it's still pose a threat to user. And the second method that you can achieve OTP is using security token. So this is the method that we actually implemented, but in security token, there are hard token and soft token. So let's first talk about the hard token. So there are three hard tokens. First of all, it is connected to the token, disconnected from token, and the last one is the contactless. So some example of contacted token like smart card, USB drive, those are inserted into the port respectively. For the disconnected, so it means that it keyless entry system, mobile phone and security banking, something like that. And for contactless, when you think about contactless, we think of wireless and something like Bluetooth token that transmit the data wirelessly to the system. So those are the example of the hard token. So what we actually have implemented is what we call soft token. Soft token is the token that authenticate usually take the form of the app that send push notification as a nice message for user to respond to it and verify the identity. It's like a multi-factor authentication also. So when you know the password, you know until you have the another token that send to your SMS or email, until you have those tokens and you log into the system that authorize you to access the system. So the system functions actually, first of all, the user will insert their password, and then the system will verify whether the passcode is correct, and then it will send a verification code, and user can read their email, SMS, and then get a code into the authorized system. And we have implemented something similar, but we haven't implemented using SMS or push notification, but actually a secret token that is sent directly to you. And we will show you in the demonstration also. Last but not least is a smart card and OTP. It is a more advanced hardware token that use microprocessor-based smart card to collect one-time password. They generate a unique non-reusable password for each authentication event. store personal data, and also do not transmit confidential private data over the network. So some advantages of the strong authentication, first of all, is the storage capacity, processing power, portability, and ease of use. So without further ado, let's go to the product demo with me. But before going to the product demo, I'd like to show you our code. So in order to build this OTP system, we have used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what is the functions of each one? So for the index of HTML, it's like a structure, the backbone of the whole system. So as you can see, we link it to the CSS, and then we use a normal like div as container. Yeah, it's actually a backbone build system, but like when we have only HTML, we only show the backbone, but it doesn't have a color or something like that. So to enhance, to make it look better, we use style CSS. So this is actually the color thing to paint it. So we have the structure, we paint it and then make it look better. But to make it actually work or do something or behavior, we use JavaScript. So in JavaScript, we use like query selector, we have event listener, and yeah, a lot more, a lot of things that we have implemented. Yeah. So we don't want to walk you through the whole things and make it seem more complex. Just know, bear in mind that with only HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we can build this whole thing. And another thing that we want to show you guys that we like three of us, we haven't taken the cloud computing course, but we actually get our comfort zone. We actually implemented on AWS Amplify on free tier. So even though we haven't learned it, but we actually try something new. We build it on AWS Amplify. So we don't have a backend yet, but it is in the front end, but it's actually work. So we have a lot of code there, and then yeah, I will like build it is built successfully. You can test it or even deploy it. And this is the domain name. We can buy a domain name, but we don't want to spend money. So all of us can actually test out the system. So let's test out it already. So this is a normal UI, but it's actually on a web browser, but yeah, just a demo though. So I need to enter my phone number. Right. So if it is correct, it will send me an OTP. Oops. Yes, there's a pop-up. So it says 0741. Okay, let's close it. Call it 0741. And then click verify. Yes, it has been successfully verified. And yeah, it will lead me to the website for AUPP. So if AUPP, they have OTP, something like this, after I verify my code correctly, it will lead me to somewhere. So in this case, it will lead you to AUP website. But if we were to implement it with other software, actually it will implement it to the actual permission of the user as myself, right? So that's all for my part right now. I will hand on to T for the next part of presentation.
So my name is T, and I will be continuing this presentation. So this application like target organizations such as the ministry, bank, agency, company, institute, school, and university, as well as customer like social media user, the bank account owner, student, and admin. Although this authentication method is convenient, it is not secure because of online identity theft using like phishing, keyboard logging, man-in-the-middle attack, and other practices is increasing worldwide. Robust authentication system address like the limitation of static password by incorporating an additional security credential such as a temporary one-time password, the OTP, to protect network access and end-user digital identity. And this feature adds an extra layer of protection and make it more challenging to access unauthorized information, network, or online accounts. And like the time-based one-time password, the TOTP change like after a set period of time, like 60 seconds, for example. And in conclusion, for the purpose of developing this application is the idea of like an open source project. We will of course open our source code for the public to use for free. And this project is very scalable as well. That will be useful when we like develop a real application to incorporate like a security system. And here is a quote from Steve Jobs. So your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And that is it for our presentation, and thank you all for listening.